Let's take a look at the matchup screen and see what Firebat and Qiruo have selected. They've met before. Have they changed up their bans at all this time around?
It seems like they haven't, actually. Oh, actually, no. Firebat banned the Shaman before.
That's
because
right.
Qiruo did sweep with the Shaman in the open weekend. So yeah, he's choosing to ban Hunter instead. And of course, Qiruo is afraid of the rogue. I mean, I am afraid of the rogue, but you don't see the faceless, pirate haha play a lot. So, you don't really know what to do with it. So
That's
it's better
right.
if you don't know what to do, just ban it.
It is the South Sea deckhand version, which is very interesting to say. I think Qiruo learned his lessons from the previous series. And, he wants to get through to the next round. He's going to have to rely on perhaps his own rogue. Meanwhile, Firebat comes off of an impressive recent streak of tournaments. Everything that he's been qualifying for or placing has been pretty consistent, top 8, top 16 throughout some qualifiers. But this is his opportunity to really put himself on the map. For a long time, people said he's one of the best players in his region, but he didn't get a chance to prove it that much. Time is now.
Well, last series, on his way, but it could have.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This is a little bit more stress here on the big stage.
It is.
We'll see if these emotions get to these players.
Well, I mean, you can see the players right across. There's no hiding behind your screen this time. As you briefly saw on your screen, apparently Qiruo plays WoW and raids for the Horde. Does that surprise anybody, or is that just like another cool fact?
I mean, if you're going to do raids, then you better be Horde, right? Because Alliance is the PvP kind of faction. But that was when I was playing. I don't know what is happening now, but... Oh man, WoW was really fun.
So you raided for the Horde too, Amaz?
No, I raided for the Alliance.
Oh, okay.
Because my friends were like, oh, we're Alliance. We're like little girls. But I am for the Horde, for sure.
You play Alliance and you're for the Horde.
Double agent, yeah.
Terrible alliance.
Yeah.
I guess he tries to make everybody happy. It's definitely the Amaz way. Ben, who do you raid for?
In this match, or the Alliance or the Horde?
Or I guess both. Who do you raid for?
I play Alliance.
Okay.
I'm a Pandaren Brewmaster.
Gotcha.
Alliance. I had to choose, right? Pandaren get to choose. I chose the Alliance.
All right, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. Well, Firebat, a lot of people are raiding for him. One thing that people don't know is that Firebat also has a full-time job. He works, at his own startup, and he also plays Hearthstone while on the job. And he's not doing a bad job either while playing Hearthstone. He's able to do both. And that's how he's able to cut his teeth playing these weekly cups and whatnot. So Firebat has been working his way up. He didn't come out of nowhere. He played a lot of those weekly tournaments that you see for like $100. And it wasn't a lot of glory. It was just a lot of practice. That's how he's able to cut his teeth on competitive
There's
play.
a lot of glory coming up if he can win this match.
Oh man,
It is.
He's been practicing a lot. He's been doing, daily tournaments with his group of friends. Just playing like 8-man tournaments, just going at it and practicing the ban format, really. And I think he's ready for this.
I know Firebat's a big fan of spreadsheets and numbers. I wonder what chances he would give himself to win this match.
Oh, that's a really tough one. I know Firebat was telling me before the match that it heavily depended on what his opponent would ban, because then that would dictate a lot of the matchups. I mean, he's a player who believes that it's all about the strategy of preparation for the tournament more than the execution. So if he feels like he got the right ban sequence, then he told me that he might be okay. But if his opponent picked the right one, then he's going to be in a tough spot.
Did he tell you what he was worried about his opponent banning?
He did, but the way Firebat talks is extremely fast, and he uses a lot of Hearthstone terminologies and statistical definitions. And he just talks about like, well, if you just play along the mana curve of the initiation, so that way your taunted minions can get the spell power, and your hero power finishes off in turn 2. So that way you have a perfect curve in order to finish off your opponent. And I'm like, yeah, Firebat. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I believe that game number 1 is about to begin. It looks like it's going to be Warlock versus Rogue to begin things off. And of course, Firebat, he feels like he's the underdog. But at the same time, I feel like we've seen some underdog upsets despite having tough matchups.
Well, I mean, yeah, Zoo can always just beat up any deck with the Godlike draws. And if you do not even get the Godlike draws, you still have a good chance, right? So it just depends a lot. So, yeah.
All right, well, we do know it is the Zoo. So let's see if Firebat gets a good curve. Let's see if Qiruo can pick up his anti-Zoo tech. What does the Miracle Rogue player need, Amaz, to hold off the pressure from Zoo?
Well, the Miracle player needs the coin, which he didn't get. That's kind of sad. I mean, look at the coin SI is really good. Yeah.
Here from Qiruo not getting the coin.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, if he gets something that can clear creatures really fast, like Deadly Poison or Backstab, that can really help with the matchup.
Wow,
but yeah,
look at
Firebat's
that
gonna.
draw.
Oh my god, you don't want to see
he
Mauer go
goes.
so fast. Jeez.
This is
course,
a great opening hand
Oh,
for the Warlock
man.
player.
Oh, it's just perfect. You really do want the
Yeah.
Undertaker to start.
There's synergy all across the board. Undertaker has a death rattle above it, and then the Haunted Creeper splits into minions to get knife juggles. Although I'm sure Firebat isn't on speaking terms with his knife jugglers at the moment.
Maybe train him after a while, after that open weekend then.
Perhaps. I hope so.
Well, that Deadly Poison draw is probably like one of the only things he's got to be able to handle anything.
Yeah, but the sad thing is that even if he's gonna Deadly Poison, he can't clear the Undertaker because he's gonna get buffed again. So I actually agree with this SI play. It was pretty good.
How important is the positioning on the creatures like the Haunted Creeper and the Harvest Golem here? Because before, you want to try to aim things up for Defender of Argus. Like, you think Firebat's positioning it for taunts to defend creatures or to be more aggressive?
So yeah, there are actually two positionings that are really important. The first one is Direwolf Alpha, where you actually want the Death Routers to be as far as across the board as possible, so far left and far right, so it can shift. The other one is Argus, and you do want to Argus your Death Router mid. So this way he's playing with Argus. He didn't really see a Direwolf Alpha yet, so I think this is good.
And you want to Argus those guys, that way your opponent has to go into and spawn those extra minions.
Oh yeah, and protect the valuable Undertaker. But the Undertaker's gonna get taken out here. That was pretty good with Qiruo. If he Deadly Poisoned last turn, he could have activated his SI, the second one.
I mean, he has Gadget Sand and Conceal, so there are ways for him to get some high impact. But we also see some Zoo players are also leaning towards including Lotheb into their decks nowadays, which also is powerful tech to shut down that Afterneer.
I mean, Lotheb is all around just a very good creature.
Ooh.
So, okay, so he has to decide if this is gonna hit. If this hits, it's
Does
gonna
he
be
get
pretty
to
good.
decide, or does the juggler get to decide?
Okay, oh man, so he has to
man.
sacrifice his spider as well, which is really not that bad. I mean, we don't see any AoE clears in Qiruo's hand right now.
And even if we did, that Nerubian egg is getting in the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. You got to go for it,
Do you
right?
go for it? I guess you do.
Oh, you also did have Azure
Oh,
Drake
wow.
available to you, but you draw a couple cards. You might pick up Backstab in the process to snipe that juggler. But I guess you have to use your own health instead, which you're starting to get a little bit low. Is there any point where you're just like, this is too low, I can't take any more damage?
Like maybe right now.
Is that it? Is now the time?
You never want to take damage. That's just bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zoo is often trying to clear the enemy minions and get a commanding board position at some point against this Miracle deck.
Yep.
Are you just trying to go for the face and finish the game off?
Well, yeah, the Miracle Rogue only has like minions early turns, like turn 3s and turn 4s, like Farseers and SIs. So once you're done with that, you just basically just go for the face. Because if you trade in your minions, you're just trading in 3 minions to kill Gadgetzan or 4 minions to kill Azure Drake. It's not really worth it, unless you have like Abusive Sergeant and stuff like that. So here, I think Firebat's just gonna see how many turns he needs to get lethal.
It's not like he has an option here anyway.
Yeah, right.
Going into Concealed Auctioneer, impossible.
Yeah, it looks like Firebat might set up for like a 2-turn lethal after this one. It just depends on what he draws. So really, Qiruo is just on a ticking time bomb right now. He needs to draw and really clear really quickly.
Right. He has 3 minions out of 4 cards, but it very easily can turn around if he draws into preparation to cycle into some more cards.
Yeah, like Blade Flurry would be pretty good. Oh, that's not bad.
Well, Phantom Dives draws 2 cards.
It does.
Auctioneer is
You're
out.
right.
That is a good start. But yeah, the thing is, the Nerubian is going to be very annoying.
Oh man.
Oh, he wants to
looking
Blade
for Blade
Flurry.
Flurry here?
Yeah, he wants to Blade
Well,
Flurry.
he's got one more chance to try and draw it with that Sinister Strike, unless he feels like it's too late. Bail out, play Phantom Knives.
Oh.
Man of Knives is a safer route, and Black Knight would have been the next card drawn.
Oh, that's pretty sad.
Well, he's still got it available. He still has his weapon up, even after he attacks here.
That stings.
Yeah, it seems like the minion-heavy Miracle Rogue is not this good in this position because you have an Auctioneer that's not going anywhere and you just draw minions.
Yeah, and he can't
It's kind
attack
of
that egg because it unleashes another spider, or Nerubian.
You don't want to...
And you're going to be in trouble.
Nerubians get offended if you call them spiders.
Do they?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll make sure to
spot.
avoid that. Thanks, Ben Brode.
Jeez. All right, another chance for Knife Juggler to do some work here. Unless Firebat wants to pop the egg. I don't think so. I don't think you want to pop the egg because
Why
the only
not?
thing you lose to right now is an AoE clear.
Ah, yes.
But you do have another egg.
You do have another egg, I guess. So we'll see if this egg pops it first.
Oh man, these juggles.
Alright, I guess you can pop it now because you do have another egg.
Well, and you know what? As much as these juggles have been missing the targets, they've also been allowing him to make trades that hit to the face as well. So he's getting some good damage in. That's 4 extra juggles. That rogue would have been at 9 health otherwise.
Yeah, some good value, I guess.
And another juggle once again.
But yeah, here's
So now he's on Soulfire. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that wasn't actually a mistake, but it was just unfortunate that he had to take 1 more damage.
Yep.
With that spell power, he can deal 4.
Well, I guess he maybe wanted to take the damage onto the Drake, because now Soulfire becomes an out.
Oh, that's not an out. Oh, that's okay too, I guess. Because it sticks on the board.
Yeah, it does shut down spells for the following turn. And Firebat just needs to like stall, right, as long as possible till he gets to
this reminds me of this other game where Firebat's just waiting to go lethal for the longest time, and he didn't get it.
He just couldn't do it.
So yeah.
Well, he's looking for Soulfire or Doomguard, right?
Or Doomguard, yeah. Because we know that rogues don't play any taunts.
That was a very ominous sound effect.
It was.
Yes.
The
whole room just shook.
It was.
Well, what are you looking for as the rogue player here?
Oh man, if you sat that, it's kind of like...
You need heal or taunt of some kind. You just need to like not die to what your opponent can draw off the top of his deck.
Right.
But I don't know if he's running more than 1 Farseer, and if you only have 1 Farseer, that's a very specific card out of the remaining 10 plus cards you have.
Well, right now it's very bad. It's just a bad position because you need to kill the Lothar for sure because 5 damage kills you.
Right. There's only 2 ways to do it, and they're both 7-cost spells.
Oh my god.
Shiv and Sap.
Yeah, you can't use your face to do that. And there we go. Okay.
Game over. You dare summon me? That was incredible.
Thank you. I've heard it a lot of times, Ben Brode.
Oh man. Wait, Ben Bro, did you voice that? Doomguard? Oh, okay. We're wondering if you did.
Frodan did though. That was
We're wondering like what creatures did you actually voice, or did you actually do it? None of them, really?
I'm in the tavern noise in the background. I'm like the male troll.
Right.
Okay.
That was me.
Oh, nice. I got you. Well, I mean, maybe in the next expansion, Ben Brode can make a voice appearance, although I'm not so sure. He's done a lot already. He's designed the game and whatnot. So
Voice over all the pirates. All the pirates.
all the pirates, especially if you guys do a pirate expansion. All right. Well, maybe we can't get information out of them that way.
Pirates versus ninjas.
We can ask them at the panel, which is at 3 p.m. I believe is
3:30.
3:30 p.m. at the Fireside Chat and the panel stage. So make sure to check that guys out if you guys are watching here at BlizzCon with the virtual ticket. In the meantime, first game is over. The Zoo has prevailed. And was that expected, or did you feel like that was a big upset for Qiruo here?
Well, it's really swingy because the coin really matters for the SI opening. So yeah, a lot of people think that rogues are the deck to beat Zoos with, but I think it's with the Death Rattle minions right now, it's actually closer than it has previously been without Nax Rattle.
That was a great game.
Yeah, no, I agree. For once, Firebat actually drew a card that he needed to end the game. It would have been really devastating if, like, multiple times throughout this tournament, he just couldn't find his runner to end the game. So more often than not, it should happen. In the meantime, we see that Game 2 is queued up. Priest versus the Zulok. Qiruo needs to equalize the series because, again, if you go down here 0-2, and Amaz, you can speak from experience, to be down 0-2 is really difficult. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was distracted by something else. Worries. Thinking about goblins and gnomes, right?
Oh man, yeah, I believe so. But yeah, I mean, you would definitely like choose Priest against the Zulok. I mean, even if you draw really bad, you have a lot of us. You have Pyromancer Smite. You have like Arcanine Circle. Even the Death Rattle version of a Priest does pretty well.
Yeah.
If you get the Power Shield to buff it over the Soulfire range.
And you're just trying to stop the early aggression from Zoo and then heal out of range of that Doomguard kind of ending.
Yeah, and then they just fall off because while they have life tap to get more creatures, you have to heal to keep your creatures alive.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's really just about the stabilization of the early 5 turns, I would say. So if the Priest is 20 health or above in the first 5 turns, I would give it to the Priest to win the whole thing.
Well, Amaz is the Priest expert, the savant, if you will. Because even before Naxxramas, as you were saying, you liked Priest versus Zoo.
Yeah.
Even though it was unpopular opinion, people were like, well, can Priest even compete? But you were saying that for a while, it's a great class against
I
it.
actually liked Priest before Naxxramas came out because it wasn't popular. People don't know what to do about it. Like when they
okay.
face me, it's like, oh, what do I do against a Priest? I've never seen one of these
Right.
before. But now everybody plays Priest, so I guess I just switch to another underdog class.
What are you going to switch to another class?
A Paladin, maybe.
Paladin?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
All right, well, you know, there was a Paladin, but you saw it too, Ben, bro. Paladin was banned last series. How did that keep happening?
Terrible.
Well, we still have one after this. Run and Gun is also playing Paladin, so stick around.
I remember.
That's right.
It was great.
It was excellent. And this game will be 2. Game number 2 is about to begin for Priest versus the Warlock. Qiruo needs to win this one badly because Firebat's in danger of once again 3-0ing Qiruo and getting a ticket to the top 8 to potentially play against Cower.
I mean, even if he loses this one, he's still a Shaman, which is a good matchup against like the other Firebat decks. But yeah, he just wants to win the game with the Priest because this is a favorite matchup, and he wants the Priest to have like an extra chance against another deck.
The light shall
Afterwards.
bring
All right.
victory.
That's a pretty good start. He's on the coin. You always emphasize how important that is for the Priest.
Yep.
And then he even has ways to put on stuff on the early board. How, you know, you're throwing away the Injured Blade Master. Is that a card you want to keep early on because it is a cheap minion? Or do you feel like it's just too in danger of getting traded easily for your opponent?
Yeah, with the Priest opening hand, you really need to look for those board clears like Pyromancer and Alkanize. But it so happens that Qiruo does have a pretty strong opening hand already by itself. Like the Cleric is a fine turn one play if your opponent doesn't have a Flame Imp, because it does limit your opponent's options a lot, because they can only do a Flame Imp or a Coin Knife Juggler.
Well, he does have a Flame Imp, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. So,
Well,
he
he's
decides
got-
to pass it. Yeah.
Right, he's got ways to bolster whatever he has on board. Not to mention that, well, you know, I was thinking if there was a Dire Wolf Alpha, all of a sudden Power Shield can't go in the 3-2, but the Egg is just a better setup.
Right.
Now, I haven't seen a ton of Priests running Shadow Word Pain.
Yep.
Is that specifically for this matchup, do you think?
Oh, right now, I think the meta suits Shadow of Pain a lot. Because there are a lot of good targets. People are running Senjin because Senjin Shield Master because there are a lot of aggro decks running around. So
Yeah.
it's just a
Sludge
very good
Belcher.
answer. And of course, you need that Shadow of Pain to kill that 3-4 Undertaker. That's a turn 1 drop.
Yeah, you know, let's be real
Yeah.
for a second. Undertaker is hard to deal with sometimes, but Shadow Word Pain just stops it right there.
Right.
Okay, so then Firebat, is he playing one of his 1-drops here to prepare for a turn 4 Defender of Argus?
I think you just play it, yeah. Because you might be thinking about like an Alkanize Circle and losing a card, but then the Voidwalker will get more long-term investment because if, like, for example, Qiruo does decide to put a 3-drop right now, the Voidwalker does soak a hit and protect the more valuable minions like the Wolf or the Flame Imp.
Well, Qiruo's still not picking up any of his activators. He's thought stealing.
Wow, he's going pretty
my.
greedy here. Interesting.
I mean, he gets 2 cards that don't have too much applications, but they're minions nonetheless, and that's something that he wasn't holding before. He held primarily spells, but does he have enough time to be able to survive?
Yeah, Qiruo really wants to bank on the Pyromancer draw. You see that he's valuing the Powered Shield a lot, because otherwise, if I was him, I might have considered throwing out the Cleric and just, cycling the Powered Shield for something better.
Well, he has to draw something to clear this board.
Yeah. Right now, Firebat.
So he doesn't have Circle of Healing.
Yeah. I mean, Firebat played it so to counter Holy Nova. All his minions have like 3 health. So.
Oh yeah, Holy Nova just makes you take more damage next turn because it pops that egg.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just pretty brutal right now.
Yeah, that's quite amusing. In fact, Holy Nova actually helps your opponent.
Now,
Was that you whispering in the background, Ben, bro?
Oh.
By the way, that stuff's gonna give me nightmares for days.
The damage minimizing play here is it silence the Dire Wolf and Shadow Word Pain the Argus?
Argus? Oh, I don't think you want to silence the... I think you really want to put the silence on the egg, but there is no way of like Zoolock to pop it without your minions by yourself, right? So he wants to save that for the Pyromancer. So he's not actually using it. So right now, I think you pain the Wolf to minimize the most damage, and you actually throw out a minion and try and point out, like, you just need more cards right now. You want to find that circle ASAP.
Right.
So the Power Shield would be a good play here.
So he needs to basically draw Pyromancer or Circle of Healing.
Or Circle of Healing.
Next turn.
Yeah.
Or this game's over.
This game is over. But then, if he
Even
does draw
so.
that, it might actually turn around.
Yeah, even so, there's still lots of ways for the Warlock to pressure.
Oh no. So do you Argus and Leper Gnome here, or do you just put the Doomguard and go
it
in?
fits the curve so nicely, and you still have Doomguard the following turn. Plus, you're not overextending into AoE clear, and on the off chance you have. I mean, it looks pretty good if you go for Doomguard next turn.
Like, it feels like that if you play Doomguard right now, your opponent can't really Shadow Word Death and clear the board.
Yeah, losing 2 cards, not that big a deal for the Warlock. You can life tap, draw 2 more cards, claim both in the same turn.
Exactly.
He also is putting this this Flame Imp into range of Shadow Word Death, so maybe he can see if his opponent has it.
Oh yeah, bait the Shadow Word Death before playing.
If his opponent has it.
Too, yeah.
I mean, Priest on 8 health remaining. He's got 10 cards, but he only has 5 mana.
He could draw 1 card
could draw
on the
one
power
card here.
shield here, and that could be the one.
And
Oh, that's gonna do it.
That's
Firebat jumps out to a 2-0 lead.
Oh, incredible!
man.
Firebat good 3-0 again.
But he's been put in this position before. He 2-0'd his opponent really quickly.
True.
And I mean, what was the name of that person who beat him?
Name of who? The person beat
in the open
Firebat?
weekend, yeah, in the open weekend.
Oh, it was Kranich.
Kranich, yeah. Kranich reversed all killed with the Hunter, and it was pretty surprising.
Well, Firebat learned from mistake. No Hunter this series, at least from Qiruo. He's gonna have to use his no, it's not. Sorry, excuse me, his Shaman in order to win this series. And you know what? The Zoop deck can always 3-0 anything, and just because it's brutal efficiency. And Firebat's playing pretty well. He doesn't seem like he's affected the way he was in the previous series, where he was, you know, emotionally distraught after a few unlucky juggles.
No, he seems stone cold today.
Yeah.
Did we ever find out why he named this Zoo deck Argent?
That's a question for Amaz, not me. Do you know why?
Oh man, I have. Wait. Oh, if you guys have no idea, I'm not gonna say why.
Oh, okay.
So you know.
I may know.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay.
Is there cards we have not seen?
How does it
That's
feel,
interesting.
Blizzard?
Oh,
To be walled with information.
Oh, soon.
He'll tell you soon. Well, you know, this last deck from Shaman, it struggles against the Zoo deck, but it does have answers to some of the early aggression with cheap spells, and it does have Lightning Storm. And you know, after you clear the board a couple times, maybe twice, you can fight back pretty effectively as the game develops. But do you feel like, is it even? Do you feel like the Shaman has the edge, or even the Warlock player has the edge? Who are you leaning towards here?
It's actually very easy for a Shaman to stabilize, especially early on with Rock Biters, Lightning Bolts, and Earth Shocks. They do have a lot of cheap 1-mana spell creatures, 1-mana spells to destroy your Zoo opponent's creatures. But once again, the Zoo is just very consistent. That's why it's popular. Even though a lot of people say, oh, there's no skill involved in playing Zoo, there is a lot of skill. You need to know what kind of play, what kind of tech cards you bring into a tournament. And in the end of the day, you do want to bring the most consistent decks to a tournament. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well said, Amaz.
I would say
that's still not going to turn people away from hating the deck when they face it against Ladder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I do like watching Zoo vs. Zoo Mirror.
Right.
A lot of people don't want to watch that, but I think there's a lot of skill involved.
Yeah, I completely
maybe.
agree here as well. I think people really undervalue like a lot of the small things that Firebat is doing. We talked a little about positioning, but also calculating damage and knowing when to trade is often a mark of a great player versus some of the best players. And so I think Firebat's playing on point. At the same time, I feel like there's nothing really that Qiruo is doing as a mistake at all. I feel like he's playing pretty solid. Just the only thing that you can debate about is that as the Priest player, he only played, I think, 2 or 3 cards that entire game.
Yeah.
So perhaps he needs to be a little bit more aggressive on board against the Zoo deck.
That happened to me a lot when I was playing Ladder. You know, you queue against a Zoo and you're playing Priest. You play 2 cards and, oh, I can't do anything.
Yeah,
it's so crushing, you know?
You gotta be able
really
to stop
crushing.
that early aggression.
Yeah, you do.
Well, Qiruo needs to stop Firebat some way, somehow, or else he is out of BlizzCon.
And that is not a hand to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe he'll find something better.
That's right, he is playing Sylvanas in his deck. This sound is a little bit weird. And because he has Kel'Thuzad.
Oh.
KT, that's the first time we'll see him all tournament.
Yes.
Although we might just have to have a gallery view. I'm not sure if he's able to get in there against Zeus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if he wins this game, we could see him again next game.
True story.
Why do you fall?
Amaz is shaking his head. No, please don't let that.
But yeah, once again, you see that Zoo has a very good opening. Any 2-1 drops are a good opening in a second.
There's like no good target to Lightning Bolt, and even if you do, you pull up your mana for the next turn.
Yeah. And this Leper Gnome is just going to go to town on every totem that comes up.
Why is it important to kill the totems here as the Zoo player?
That's a good question because that's a very good question because Shaman is known for like buffing their minions a lot, even though they're like just zero attack minions, such as like using Flame Tongue to give them attack, use Argus to make a wall. So it's quite important to actually kill a Shaman's minion.
I've often felt during this tournament that these Shaman players should be playing one Bloodlust. There's so many turns where a single Bloodlust.
I mean, some players do. You know, one of my team members, Gara, he likes playing Bloodlust because he sees too many Harrison Jones and he says, well, you know what? Doomhammer isn't as reliable if everyone has a weapon destroyer. I'm just going to play Bloodlust as another way to finish my opponent. So sometimes you do see it.
We have seen a lot of Harrison Jones. We've seen a lot of oozes, too.
That's right. I mean, we have not yet to see Bloodsail Corsair to remove one durability.
Wow.
But I mean, maybe if there's a pirate expansion, Ben Bro, we can see it. Oh no. All right.
Okay. So here as a Shaman, you can you know, use Feral Spirits to set up a wall. You do have to keep in mind that Overload messes up your next turn. So with 3 mana, you could use Stalnos and Earthshock. So you do have like a play next turn. So I think Feral Spirits is okay here.
Oh man, how unlucky is it to draw 2 of the most expensive cards after you drew the 3 other most expensive cards in your deck?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty bad, but at the same time, Shamans don't normally run such high creatures. He has Sylvanas in the deck as well, right? So there are some games where you do have to draw them, and you do have to play, you know, play around that.
Well, this just highlights the power of Defender of Argus. Playing Feral Spirit looks really good.
It looks really good.
2-1s and 1-3.
Yeah.
But obviously, Defender of Argus turns those guys all into doggy killers.
Oh.
That's right, and they do 4 damage collectively just from its Death Rattle effect.
Yeah. Leopard Gnome's hug is not really that good.
So,
You don't want to hug.
Insight from Amaz. Do not approach a Leopard Gnome.
well, you know, I wonder if Qiruo also has Reincarnate in this deck because we see there's Kel'Thuzad, and there is some synergy with that card, especially around Sylvanas.
That would be awesome. If you reincarnate Kel'Thuzad, he comes back and then he resurrects
Himself.
That's
Oh,
right.
man.
The one that died earlier.
Wow.
And that, yeah,
Mind-bending.
it's really because now you have to kill both KTs or else they resurrect each other every turn.
Yep.
And if he did, then I wonder if he plays a Rupian Egg and then other ways to synergize all of it. Either way, he has to find some way to relieve this pressure.
Yep.
He needs to find a Lightning Storm or something to stall.
Like, I don't think Qiruo's Shaman deck is meant to face against aggro. He really wanted to win the last game, so that this
Yeah.
goes really good against control. So
Oh,
this
boy.
is a problem.
This is a stomp.
Well, I hope somehow he turns this game around because I want to see more of this Kel'Thuzad Shaman deck. This is great.
You might have to browse the Chinese tournament VODs if you want to see that. They like this deck over in China, and Qiruo brought it over, but in this case, it's not working out for him.
I mean, cross-regions decks are pretty interesting. If you ever get to see the Chinese scene, they have pretty interesting stuff going there.
Well, he really needed to draw a Lightning Storm last
Oh
turn.
yeah, he needed to draw spells, really.
Right.
Not
And
these
even
high-cost
if he draws one next turn, is it too late?
It might be. It might be the
Especially with Lothep making it cost way too much mana.
Yes,
a million.
8 mana, that's out of range. You can't even draw it next turn. You
Yeah.
don't want to now.
That's an excellent point. And with that consideration, the follow-up damage. I mean, he can't even really play the Feral Spirits either. That costs too much mana. He can't play Alakir. Those are his taunt givers.
Yeah.
Or to give him, to protect his health.
Yeah, the only play from his hand right now that he can do is maybe taunting a totem or using Fire Elemental to kill off a threat. But if Lothep comes out here, that's he needs something else. Another Sludge Belcher? Is there anything that keeps him alive?
7 mana Deathwing.
7 mana Deathwing.
He needs a Deathwing.
Oh man.
Oh.
Look at Qiruo. He's putting down his headphones already.
Yeah, I think he
He
realizes
knows
that's
it's
his
his
little
little
way.
This is done.
And just as quick as
Wow.
it started, Firebat goes to the top 8.
Incredible.
That was a very quick
3-0
series.
from Firebat.
Oh, nice.
Well, Firebat really wanted to win, but you can see the disappointment in Qiruo's face. That's not how he wanted to end the tournament run.
Right.
But, you know, for Firebat fans, they've been expecting a good play out of him, and they expected to see him advance from this group. You look at that group C,
Yeah.
you peg Firebat as one of the heavy favorites to go in from the start.
I think Firebat did it for you too, Ben. Plus, you have to go to a panel soon, right?
Thank you, Firebat. Get me there on time.
That's right. He's really considerate. Well, you know, Firebat goes on to play Cower in the top 8. That'll be happening towards the end of the day.
Right.
How do you feel like he fares up against that match?
Oh, I think Qiruo is a really strong player. I haven't heard of him before this tournament, and he's been playing really, really solid.
He needs a nickname. We should call him Cower the Crusher.
Cower the Crusher.
Because
I
he's just crushed everybody on his way up here.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? He also brought his family today. I saw his son and his wife. And
great!
Yeah, it's a very cute thing. I even took a picture of it.
Then there's a whole Reddit thread of him too. It was like Italian pride. And I was like, oh my god, it was so big.
He is the Cinderella story of the tournament, coming from a remote part of Italy and stuff. And Firebat will have his hands full.
Yeah.
But I'm, obviously, congrats to Firebat. The moment's about him at the moment. We don't want to take away from his win at all.
Right.
And he's overcome Qiruo, which means Run and Gun is the last remaining Chinese player of the round of 16 that's yet to advance, leaving, if he doesn't qualify, then Titter Celestial is the last Chinaman standing.
And Tiddler's no joke.
No, Tiddler's no joke either.
He is really good.
He's a really talented player.
Everybody's really good. Jeez.
Absolutely. And I think it's good for confidence-wise, the 3-0.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
putting it out there. I think winning 3-0 is like a really good confidence boost. Like, all right, I got this. So, Firebat will probably be feeling really good about
He
this.
seems very confident already, and that must just go even further to make him feel great going into this next round.
Absolutely. And that does conclude our third match. I do know that Calento and Run and Gun is also coming up. But before we do that, we do have an interview with the winner of that series. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Amaz. Rachel, how you doing? Firebat, how you doing? Did you like that series?
Gentlemen, I know that Rachel's voice might have deepened a little bit since the last match, but yes, both Rachel and I are here, and we are with the winner, Firebat. They say that you look confident. Are you feeling confident after a 3-0 victory, something that obviously has to be defined as that went my way?
Am I out? Am I staying?
Yeah, I feel really confident. I feel great. Couldn't have went better.
I mean, when you go into a match like that, we've seen so many series here in Hearthstone during the Hearthstone World Championships that have gone 5 games because you guys are amazing. When you are able to defeat one of the opponents who's still in 3-0, that certainly has to be an additional booster for you.
Yeah, it feels really, really good. But the lineup was, that's sort of how I expected it to go. Like, go or lose. Got over the priest hump. It was like, I got this.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw pretty much total domination. I mean, you controlled in a lot of the cases. There were a few times I look over and I'm just like, there's no minions on the, on Qiruo's board. There's none, and it was like a couple games like that. A game like that, I imagine, it has to be.
Against the priest game, I saw him hold 3 cards in his starting hand, so that's why I played the egg instead of the direwolf. So like, I don't know if that was too cautious or not, because I was really afraid of Wild Pyromancer, Coin, Power Word Shield to just kill all my 2 health minions, and then if that happens, like, he just wins the game on the spot from there. So even with nothing on the board, you still have to fear him.
That's good.
Absolutely. Firebat's our resident statistician. He keeps his Excel spreadsheet. So I want to know, most players, they predict, 1 or 2 turns in advance. I want to know, how many opponents in advance are you predicting here? Are you mathematically seeing yourself at the finals right now?
Not yet. I'm not that cocky.
Good.
You're fooling us a little bit. No, I mean, I love the confidence. All right, here's a question. Gnomes or goblins? Goblins or gnomes? Which one do you go for?
Let's go with goblins.
Okay, we've got a split right down the middle so far with our top players. 120 new cards coming out next month.
Yeah, I
know
can't
we're
wait
all
to see
excited for
the updated spreadsheets after Blizzard adds over 100 new cards to the game. Is this work that you look forward to, number crunching and figuring out strategies, or is this stuff like, crap, back to the drawing board?
No, it's awesome. I love trying to figure out the most efficient ways to do everything and the best ways to deck build with the new sets and all the combos, and just figuring out everything exactly to the 1% to make it as perfect as possible.
And this is your first BlizzCon. It's already been amazing. New announcements during the opening ceremony. Obviously, the Hearthstone World Championship. Has your opinion changed from yesterday to today now that the convention has filled up with people and the stage now and the tavern has some patrons?
My opinion on what?
on BlizzCon, on just the experience overall.
No, it's still just awesome. I love it. It's really cool.
What I want to know is, this table is amazing because what we saw before was people in separate booths, and then last weekend at opening weekend we saw you guys sitting across the table from each other, but you still had the wall of the computer up in front of you. Now you have almost no choice but to stare your opponent in the face after. Are you looking him down? Are you giving him the eyes?
No, I'm not looking him down or trying to do anything like sneaky and make him nervous or anything. I'm just playing Hearthstone and trying to do my best and hoping he brings his best too and we put on a good game.
That's what Hearthstone's all about, I think.
Yeah, what I heard in that answer is that Firebat's saving that for later on. He's got a couple pocket tactics that he's going to be here. Firebat, congratulations, man. Moving on to the top 8. We'll see you later on in the quarterfinals.